What's up, everybody? Welcome to the second episode of the Filmoholics podcast, a podcast about film, beers, and banter. I'm your host, Harry, and with me is, of course, my lifetime co-host, the self-proclaimed king of the world, Edward Dools.
He's just gone ahead and locked me in with a lifetime contract with zero say on my part. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm a little already getting claustrophobia.
And of course is behind the audio board, the Baron of backtracking himself, Laz.
Yeah,
Laz. Yeah, I'm good. If this is your first time at the Filmoholics podcast, don't expect structure, don't expect complete quality, and don't expect to know what the hell we're doing, because we don't.
Let me completely derail your spiel here for a second. So
I'm one line from the ending. I'm literally reading this off. I'm one line from the ending.
Go for it.
But what we do know is that we start every week with what everybody has been watching. But before that, what do you want to say?
Are you going to be doing something nice? You said, welcome to the second episode.
Yeah, I'm going to do that every time.
So it'll be third, fourth, fifth.
Yeah, you can count.
100, 101th.
Yeah, for sure.
So this is the 101th. 101st, sorry, 1th. What am I doing?
If we get to 102nd
and...
then I'll probably say 101st,
Yeah.
like, I can probably gauge my...
Well, how scrambled in my brain is I just said 101th. Let's get right into it, Az.
Alright, so what is everybody
Take me on a walk.
watching? Dools, you go first, because I feel like you've watched a show that I talked a little bit about last week.
What have I been watching? I finally got to Mindhunter, like you endlessly recommended.
The David Fincher show.
It was fantastic.
Thank you.
Laz, that 100% needs to be your next show. Just a deep dive into the whole so is it loosely based on, I know they have real life serial killers, but do we know whether the FBI agents and whatnot are
keep talking.
okay.
I'm cutting last.
Do we know has that the FBI agents are based on real people? Are you
wait one second, we're just going to start recording this as well. I keep forgetting. Just a bit of technical difficulty, nothing but a second episode podcast.
All on Harry.
Yeah,
that's what you get for using the trial version, you cheap motherfucker.
You're such a piece of shit.
Look, let us continue.
So, Mindhunter, Dools, let's start that up
Yeah,
again.
exactly. So, I mean, you guys, I think you already talked about it a bit last episode, but yeah, deep dive into, I think, late 70s, two FBI agents begin the whole real behavioural scientific look into the minds of serial killers, and they actually coined the term in the show, so it gives a bit of context as to how that terminology came about. And so it's super fascinating, really fucking creepy.
Yeah, it gets real disturbing.
So creepy. It's just some of the discussions they have, as you can imagine, with serial killers, really getting into exploring their mind and their motives. But I think the scary part is they don't have motives. They only have they just use their emotions, which are completely different to normal emotions, and it's hard to explain. But this show is phenomenal, and
it is great.
I kind of thought Fincher's involvement would be the executive producer type role, but no, he directed I think the first and last two episodes.
Yep.
And
correct, yeah.
Oh my god, yeah, just
like you did with House of Cards.
Oh really?
Well,
You're right. Yeah, that's awesome. So he's clearly got a little thing with Netflix. But oh my god, and without spoiling anything, there will clearly be a second season. I'm fairly certain they've already renewed it. So I think I actually saw an article they renewed it months in advance of it first coming out. So Netflix themselves were extremely confident in it. It's phenomenal. Highly recommend.
Yeah, it's been renewed.
And something we should all try and watch, potentially even by next week, because it's only 6 or 7 episodes. A new Western miniseries, Godless.
Yeah, that looks
with Jeff
awesome.
Daniels, looks fucking dope.
Empire Magazine reviewed it, gave it 5 stars. It's good.
Oh, yeah.
From digitalspy.com, 6 months before Mindhunter Season 1 even dropped,
there it is.
Netflix reportedly commissioned a follow-up. Yeah.
That's hardly anything
new. That's hardly anything new. The streaming giant used to recommission literally everything they made. Sorry.
There's a new South Park episode where it's just
it's a mark of confidence and one that's well placed.
Where the boys want to it's a little tie into the new game, The Fractured Butthole.
Right.
And where they're obviously playing superheroes, and so Cartman and the guys have their own superhero cinematic universe planned out, and it's clearly a huge parody of Marvel and DC.
Yeah.
But they're no guys, we need to call up Netflix and we need to get a series started. The Cartman calls up Netflix and Netflix is welcome to Netflix, where we'll greenlight pretty much fucking anything.
So true.
And it's so true. And you hear people in the background, you hear people in the call center in the background taking ideas like, yep, yeah, we'll do that, and like they're repeating the ideas. I can't remember them exactly, and I think there was like also a little bit of they were making a joke with the whole sexual harassment stuff going on, so they wouldn't greenlit the series that Cartman was pitching because of his associations with someone. But anyway, yeah. we all going to be watching South Park, by the way. It's a great season.
I'm up to date, by the way.
Yeah, I'm loving it, dude.
This latest season of South Park for me hasn't delivered as well as the previous two. I think season.
Oh, dude, I think it's by and far so much better than the last season.
Oh, then season 21.
This is 22?
This is 22.
Yeah, no, I definitely love it more than the last season. Because last season was attempting the whole, sorry, Haz, we've clearly gone off topic, but I guess this
I don't care, go ahead.
Last season was attempting a new, and I kind of experimented with it in the season before that, but with the whole kind of like overarching plot.
Yeah.
Like plot and story kind of thing. So like all the episodes were all like a continuation from the previous one.
I like that, to be honest.
Yeah, I did too, but then it wore me out, and I was like, this isn't South Park. And now this season is clearly reverted back to the original formula. It's getting a bit more wacky, and it's like, that to me is South Park.
Yeah.
But while still tackling topical issues, like, that's what I love about it, so.
Fair enough. I think the reason why I don't like the latest season as much as the previous is I just feel like they haven't fleshed out like the bleeding issue topics in as funny as they have done previously. Like the Netflix thing was the one that hit the hardest. Like that was definitely the funniest moment. But a lot of the other stuff, I think it wasn't as funny. Again, the previous season had like Donald Trump, and they had all sorts of stuff going on to like to just go to town with that. But this season just has it. There wasn't as many like moments where I was just losing my shit as the previous. That's why.
Fair enough. There was one particular episode from last season which was one of my favorites in a long time. But fair enough. I'm actually not up to date. I know what's the latest episode, but yeah, I'm definitely keen to.
Nice.
Get into it.
Nice.
I think my favourite episode of South Park in the last 3 seasons is the one where they have their startup company, and they're the Washington Redskins, and they're giving the Apple keynote speech, and they're just like, this is just another way to show that we don't fucking care. So good.
Actually, very, very quickly, I saw a little it was a snippet of an interview with I think it was Trey Parker or Matt Stone. I always get them mixed up, but anyway, it was one of them. And he was like talking about how, actually it was a very recent interview with Vice Australia, but he was talking about how he was like seriously depressed and like, I don't know if he said borderline suicidal, but just like intensely depressed over a particular episode. And he was like, and everyone's trying to talk about like, no dude, it's a fine episode, it's a good episode, people like it. And he was like so certain people were going to hate it, and he was really stressed about it.
Wow.
Turned out to be the Warcraft episode.
Dude, that was
everyone,
unreal.
and then he's just like, turned out to be our favorite. Turned out to be everyone's favorite episode. It's like, and when I heard him say, I was like, "Are you kidding?"
Yeah,
that's to me maybe the
pinnacle episode.
That's like that's the episode you show someone if they want to get into South Park.
Exactly, perfect.
It's so good.
Yeah, 100%.
Anyway, yeah. Sorry, Haz.
Oh, dude, we go on tangents. That's what this show's about.
Beautiful. From Mindhunter to
South Park has a fun place in my heart.
Oh, dude, always.
Nice. I'll eventually get into it. I've watched it. Like I watch episodes here and there. It's like it's not that I'm not a fan. It's just that I'm not as big as a fan as you are.
Oh, sorry. Another real quick tangent. While we're on the subject of 20-minute comedy episodes, Brooklyn Nine-Nine season 5.
Yeah.
I don't know how they are still keeping up the quality. It is.
I literally finished season 4 the other day. What a shock ending! Don't spoil season 5. I can already see how it goes. In the first few episodes, it'll be sorted out.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's so
phenomenal.
Good. It's so funny, bro.
Dude,
it's hilarious.
The one thing I always come back to for Brooklyn Nine-Nine is it's a silly, funny show. But there are some serious writing elements and like character development in it. And the scene I always come back to from season 4 is the little dialogue between Holt and Terry when it comes to Terry getting pulled over by the white cop.
I was literally going to bring that up, like the racially motivated episode. I was like, that was like pretty
fantastic.
I was like, the way they tackled that was like really good, really well.
That episode continually blows me away. And it's for the scene when Terry is giving his like really motivated speech and Holt's there just like listening, and the way they've just set up the characters, and it was just perfect. It was brilliant.
Can I just say, Holt was by and far my favorite character of season 4.
Yeah,
He was
absolutely. He was hilarious.
He was so funny.
I love Holt. He's my favorite
Oh
character.
my god! But
anyway,
he was.
so.
He was.
Is he going to get better? That's so good.
Because like now he's like.
when he gets the spoilers house.
Oh, I mean, he'll probably forget. I mean,
When he
so many
gets the
episodes.
pole stuck in his thing and Jake's like on the side, he's just like, "You're doing really well, Jake. I've taken things. I don't like that squelchy
It's okay,
noise.
you're gonna get through this.
You're gonna get through this." And I'm sewing myself up. You did great, kiddo. He's
Oh my god, I'm so proud of
strong.
myself.
I'm so
Yeah.
strong.
I can't believe I did that.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah, no, it's
It's phenomenal.
Nice.
I reckon I'm just gonna go. Actually, dude, can I? Do you,
Another little side tangent.
Okay.
In coming to 20-minute episodes of just comedy.
yeah.
We're talking about Curb Your Enthusiasm?
Vice Principals, dude.
Oh,
Vice Principals is
Thank you.
phenomenal.
thank you.
Every episode. The first
Yeah,
episode
go
was
on.
was good. It was very strong.
Yes.
But every episode, it's developed more.
That
and
was
more.
actually something I told Haz after the
Yeah.
last podcast that I forgot to talk about. Everyone, to all 2 people listening to this podcast, watch Vice Principals. You won't regret it. It's a hilarious half-hour HBO comedy with Danny McBride and Walter Goggins as the leads. It's like great writing, great
Dude, it
characters,
is.
and just fucking hilarious.
It is.
I'm telling you.
It is a stupid bit of fun.
And it's just 2 seasons, so 18 episodes, and you're done. It's like it was always planned as a miniseries.
Yeah.
Always, that's how Danny McBride conceptualized it.
Look, I'm
So there's,
5
there's
episodes.
nothing after the 2 series.
No, it's done.
Done.
That's
Done.
awesome. I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah,
They're
highly
not going
recommend
to
that.
drive.
And I love the ending.
Yeah.
Without spoiling anything, it was clearly a rip-off of a big movie, and I thought it was so funny.
Okay, right, I'll watch it. I'll
Yeah.
try and watch it the next week.
Yeah.
I mean, while we're in the vein of comedy, we have to get this out of the way. The latest episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm
Oh, it was amazing. It was the best. It was the best.
amazing.
Yeah.
And the reason I say it's amazing was the way they worked in how do you say the what was it, the caliphate, the who was the Muslim character in that film?
Okay,
That
so
Muslim gentleman?
I've forgotten the
Run
Muslim,
us through it.
the Muslim gentleman's name. So basically, like the part of the episode is
Mufti. No.
Mufti. So basically, part of it was Larry was with his new girlfriend. He was meeting up with Monkey and Marty
The funk.
and he was and I think Larry was going to try and rekindle
Yeah.
like a relationship with Marty's former girlfriend. You know, because after the whole
After the
tap water accident, which to be fair, Larry was completely in the
well
right
within
for.
the right, yeah.
And like I love how the second she leaves the table, everyone's like, "Oh my god, it's terrible!" Like Larry, thank you. Like, he's like, "Right," but and so anyway, like yeah, they're going up to the line they're at a buffet, and this one gentleman cuts in just to get some seconds of one particular dish. I believe it was the breakfast potatoes, lads.
I believe so. You are correct.
And everyone in the line behind him immediately was like, hey, what are you doing, man? Come on, like you
gotta wait in the line.
Can't just cut.
And Larry David in his
Comes to
In
the
his-
rescue,
oh.
which is surprisingly, I would have thought that
in
in
the
a
most
situation like that,
he would have because there's been a recurring theme of the old cut and chat. Now you do the old
I
cut and chat.
actually have a bit of a moral dilemma with that whole thing. I was like, do we let someone like? I mean, but
Because-
if they're clearly coming back, if it's obviously coming back for seconds, and it's one dish, they're just one. Like I mean,
Yeah, let that one slide.
yeah. And
But,
so Larry was pretty much came to this man's rescue. He's just like, hold on, guys, and explain the situation. Like, yeah, he's just coming for seconds, blah blah blah, and he kind of convinced the crowd, the mob, to ease off. And the gentleman was like, oh my god, thank you so much. And cut to the next scene. Larry's outside the bathroom waiting for his girlfriend. And the Muslim gentleman emerges from the shadows. It's actually so dark in that scene for some reason. It's like so ominous. It's like what?
And then
is
he
it nighttime or
disappears.
something? Anyway,
Disappears into the
and
shadows.
he emerges and reveals that he's a devout Muslim and that he like felt the urge to kill Larry. If it weren't for the fact that he stood up for him like that, and I was like, Jesus Christ! And Larry's like, fatwa. But and basically it was that one kind deed that saved him. And then the episode proceeded to be about the Muslim man going
That's
to
what I
former-
loved, yes.
Yeah, which is the best part. So
So to set this up, the Muslim man then goes to actually he gets inspired by Larry David's courage in defending him.
yeah.
So he wants to further investigate Larry David's integrity and character.
So he said he might have a word with the Mufti Council Mufti Council, and
But he
and
does.
see if
But he
could-
does this after the fact of investigating all these little.
Well, no, he says he would, but that
Oh,
he'd
yes,
need
yes,
to
yes,
undertake some independent research, and that independent research entails him visiting former, let's say, acquaintances of Larry's. So we have the wheelchair girlfriend.
Absolutely
we have the
spectacular.
kamikaze pilot's son. we have
Michael J. Fox.
so
Michael J. Fox as well.
so he
Fucking
just
hell.
grazed the plane. It's like, yes, like the look of defeat. And then Michael J. Fox, as you said, and I love that he admitted. It's just like, I may have shaken it up, shaken the can.
Was the stomping on purpose? A little.
Yeah. And then who else was there? I mean, those are
And
the
then
main.
most notably the Palestinian girlfriend, when she's like, I was stuck on the chairlift with him, and he just. And it was,
Oh
and it
no,
was past
the
12, and-
Orthodox Jew.
the Orthodox Jew, sorry, not
Yeah.
Palestinian girlfriend.
Oh, bro,
that floored me.
I
That
lo-
absolutely floored.
So
me.
yeah, so the Muslim man was like, so he did not
He does
abide
not
by
re-
Jewish orthodoxy. Is that
He
what
does
you're
not
saying?
respect
And
the
she's
Jewish
like,
orthodoxy?
He didn't respect it at all. And he's like, like smiling devishly, like, oh, very interesting. It's like Larry.
It's phenomenal.
Larry.
It's phenomenal.
And the Mufti Council, especially when they heard about Larry fucking the Palestinian
Palestinian
woman,
girlfriend here.
not once but
Twice.
twice. They were like, oh, okay, well. So yeah, that was a hilarious episode.
It was great. It was great to get like a call back to everybody.
That almost felt like a finale in that sense, though.
Oh,
Don't you
yeah.
reckon? The way
It felt like
I
the
was like,
same as
ooh,
ever.
like this feels like an end cap. Like,
That's such a good point, because it was like they were recounting.
It's exactly
it was
what
kind
Seinfeld
of
did.
because they were kind of like wrapping up on his
Much better,
character.
Yeah.
They were kind of
agree.
wrapping up on his character and the fact that he's the one. He's this like pinnacle of light that sort of just doesn't take the bullshit and just says it how it is. And it's like it's like reflecting on all of his past experiences by like recounting all of those. So it's like the nostalgia feels like they were reminding everyone of how the series has gone, who Larry David is, and then bring it to a cut.
but I think he's done that as the 8th episode, so that like, and I predict this now, whether this is the last season or not, we actually won't know until he just decides randomly one day.
Absolutely.
Because he could decide to do a 10th, and that would be like a nice round number to end it on. But
Exactly.
whatever.
10 episodes for 10 seasons.
But I feel like the finale will just be like the finale for season 8. Where like it's just like it just ends. Like he might something happen. Like something big might happen. He might need to go to Paris or whatever. Like he does in season 8, which is funny. But I reckon it'll just be like any other episode.
I think
He
so.
went to Paris to avoid someone.
To avoid a fundraiser
Michael
for like
J.
the 10th
Fox.
time. Yeah.
That's right. Oh, that was so funny.
Parkinson's, yeah. So yeah, Curb is
such a
honestly
Larry David
fantastic
thing
this
to do.
season. I was like a little cautious. I like went in to I went in episode 1 very excited, obviously, but then after that episode, I was like, that was good, but I mean, I obviously lowered my expectation. I was just like, it's not going to be as good as the previous season. But then he quickly like came back in like subsequent episodes, and I was like, no, it's exactly the same, and it's like exactly how I remembered it, and I love it.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to be back. Yeah. Should we get into news of the week, Jeff for Jeff?
I guess we should.
Alright, so each and every week, Laz, you were here last week. We do a Jeff for Jeff, news of the week. It's the end of November, there's still a month till Star Wars, and I'm ready for some news. This is your Jeff for Jeff news of the week, powered by The Fly. Be afraid. Be very afraid. Let's start. It's official, there is going to be 7 Marvel movies released before Aquaman next year.
Jeez Louise.
Such titles include Black Panther, Deadpool 2, The New Mutants, Avengers Infinity War, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Venom, and X-Men Dark Phoenix. It's okay, because at least 3 of those movies no one even asked for. It isn't looking too crash hot for DC after Aquaman, with Marvel's Doctor Strange 2, Electric Boogaloo, Iron Man 17, and the Grandmaster Solo movies still awaiting to be greenlit.
Can't wait for that one.
Netflix has released a teaser for the 4th season of Black Mirror that will force people once again to question their own existence. The combination of an eerily white neighborhood, a touch of sci-fi, and some creepy children amounts to what we can assume is a horrifying realistic take on the future, and we are all somehow okay with this. John Bernthal has revealed that suiting up for the world of superheroes and supervillains never really appealed to him, as he spoke to Variety, quote, "Being a part of a superhero franchise was not something that I really had the ambition towards. It wasn't really ever on my radar." Then he, end quote. Then clarified that the Punisher being just a man, no powers, no mask, is what sold him. That and being a vengeful badass that literally can take down a room full of highly trained mercenaries. That too. Pixar's new hit Coco beats Justice League in the American box office this weekend, amounting $93 million and $82 million respectively.
So that's actually the same opening that Justice League had, but I mean, still, like, that was, like, far below expectations and projections.
This looks to be another amazing animated movie that will probably pull my heart out of its chest and show it to me.
Ooh.
Ben Mendelsohn, also known on this show as Bendo Mendo,
Possibly.
has stated that he wants to play Doctor Doom, claiming that Marvel's comics nemesis is, quote, the greatest comic character of all time, end quote. As we know, Bendo Mendo is signed on as the villain in Captain Marvel, but with his performance in Rogue One, Bloodline, Animal Kingdom, Mississippi Grind, Slow West, and The Place Beyond the Pines, and so much, much more, Bendo Mendo can literally do whatever the fuck he wants, and I'm okay with it. Thus, starting the new weekly segment of Bendo Mendo should be in it. This week, the Lion King live-action movie, Bendo Mendo should absolutely play Scar.
Yeah.
It's
already cast, unfortunately. Yeah, sorry to...
That's why he should be in it. That's your news of the week in a Jiff with Jeff. Until next time, stay golden. Let's start.
So I mean, he's kind of stepped on his own little dream there by accepting a role in Captain Marvel. Well, he can't play Doctor Doom now.
Unless they buy 20th Century Fox.
Yeah, those fell apart though. Apparently, those.
We'll see though.
I mean, yeah, if it does happen, but I mean,
even
still
if they
he can't though.
But even if they
he's playing this villain now.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. What is this film?
Well, actually, I've seen before that there are cursory relations with, I think it's the Kree or something that are the villains.
Yep.
In Captain Marvel.
Yep.
And they have some sort of weird.
Yeah, correct.
They were the first villain in Fantastic Four apparently. So there is already a weird little relationship there. So maybe should one day they purchase Fox and get Fantastic
Even
Four
if they don't purchase Fox,
in some wild world, maybe they could make it work.
I'm making a prediction now that in 2 years, Disney are gonna buy Fantastic Four back for like $0.10 and a bottle of cheap vodka, and they'll make a Doctor Doom. Like they'll make Doctor Doom part of the MCU.
Fantastic Four is so overdone.
You can't do a good Fantastic Four movie nowadays. I just don't think it can be done.
Marvel can make an okay one. Yeah, I just don't think I could.
No, but everyone looks at the thing and sees it as a shitty Hulk.
Oh yeah, it's because it is. The only cool member that I think if you could steal one character, Human Torch, and throw him into the Avengers, he could have some cool moments.
Yeah.
But other than, I mean, Mr. Fantastic.
Maybe if they can recast Jessica Alba as
the Invisible Woman.
Yeah. Yeah. Right, I distinctly remember watching the Fantastic Four reboot and just like, oh man, that was
tragic.
Really
that was
hard
tough to get through, man. That was like three different. Do you remember when they got their powers and it goes 1 year later and they were just good with their powers? How is this an origin story?
Well, I think that's how they.
We need to do an episode purely based on that one movie.
I really don't know if we do.
No, I think man, that'd be great. That'd be great content.
Yeah, and just to clarify, obviously, before the haters come after you, has 7 MC Marvel movies, but like only 3 of them were MCU. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So we got the MCU movies coming out.
Have you seen the new Mutants trailer?
Yeah, it looks terrible.
Ooh. The new Mutants trailer.
Yeah.
So it's meant to be like some new kind of like
low budget horror movie,
a horror film with superheroes, and like an X-Men spin-off.
Yeah.
Hence the new Mutants, and it's got Maisie Williams, Arya Stark, and a couple other somewhat famous teenage actors. But
one of the guys out of Stranger Things is in it. Will's older brother.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He wasn't a particularly. He was fine. Yeah. He was fine.
He was good. The MCU movies coming out before Aquaman comes out in December next year. We got Black Panther coming out. We got Avengers: Infinity War. We got Ant-Man and the Wasp. I'm ready to say they're all going to be as better than Aquaman.
Oh, I'm getting intensely keen for an Infinity War trailer.
Yeah.
Like what
I've read the description multiple times. I know.
I've seen the leaks.
It's like
it's good. It's very good.
It sounds so fucking like it sounds stupidly sick.
It's very good.
It's so cool. Very excited.
But there is seven Marvel movies coming out.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous. Like, but they're all okay. Again, like no one gives a shit about X-Men Dark Phoenix. No one wants that. Same with New Mutants. Like, people are excited for New Mutants. People actually thought that trailer was great. I thought that trailer was trash. Sucks.
The only film I just can't see Aquaman or the Cyborg solo movie winning any.
Is Cyborg seriously getting a solo movie?
I don't know. Well, I mean, they're all apparently meant to be getting. There's meant to be a Man of Steel 2 still to come in. But the only one I can see maybe like being a truly great film, and I hope it is, the Batman solo movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but even then, like, we're always going to be holding it to the standard of the Nolan trilogy, which it can. I mean, the chances of it even touching it, you know.
Well said.
That's why DC's in a rut. Like, I don't know. It's just like
they went too hard too quickly.
Yeah.
No, they just haven't got the rest. They just haven't hit the rest.
It will be truly interesting because I mean, so they've revealed the Flash solo movie will be called Flashpoint. Well, I know we went over this, but it is interesting because I saw like the animated feature of it, and it's literally like the plot devices talks about using it as a soft reboot for like the universe. So, I mean, it'd be interesting. If that comes before the Batman movie, guess what? All of a sudden, Gyllenhaal becoming Batman, or just like whoever they cast. Well,
sense. They could do it with Thomas Wayne and just get Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
They could do that, but
that'd be awesome.
I feel like if you're going to recast Batman, let's just get another young guy who can do a few movies without complaining.
I would not be opposed to Gyllenhaal.
Neither would I.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan would be sick as Batman.
Fuck off, Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
You don't like Jeffrey Dean Morgan?
If I even say a whisper of Negan in his performance, I'll be so disappointed.
It's got serious Negan fatigue.
Lads, Jeffrey Dean Morgan is a G. He can play whatever the fuck he wants.
Oh, well, not after Negan, he can't.
He's John Winchester.
He's actually great as Negan. I mean, it's not like...
He's awesome
I think
as
he's
Negan.
just off The Walking Dead in general.
I don't know what's wrong with his leg, but he's always got some stank leg going on. And he's always just like, looky.
September, October,
Yeah, we also got Venom coming out, which I agree with you. You think it's a complete waste to have Tom Hardy in the Venom movie.
Well, look, I think it actually could be quite good, but I think that's the problem. Like, Tom Hardy's Venom, that sounds so sick. I think that's the problem. It's not part of the MCU. They've established that. And that actually brings me to the point, as I was going to bring up earlier. There is a YouTube clip. Let's see if we can possibly get this.
Absolutely.
So it's Amy Pascal, who was like the head of the Sony creative division, the Sony films. She was in an interview with Kevin Feige. I think that's how we say his name. So yeah, and then put in. Actually, it's the top one. Yeah, so it's the top one. So watch this very quickly. Will there be audio on the video? Do we know? Or
there's no copyright on the audio, or it shouldn't be at least.
Wait, we'll just play the video. We'll watch this very quickly. Do we need to turn
the video. Turn the video up. Yep.
The sensitivity on this mouse is extremely poor, but we'll make do.
It's because you're on a suede couch.
That's probably why.
Start over. Yeah.
Jumps to it.
Here we go.
Well, those movies will all take place in the world that
Watch Kevin Feige. Watch his face.
For Peter Parker. I mean, there'll be adjuncts to it. They may be different locations, but it will still all be in the same world, and they will be connected to each other as well.
So there is a chance that Tom Holland as Spider-Man will pop up somewhere? There's always a chance.
There's always a chance. I think one of the things that Kevin has done...
He's like... This is the first time I'm hearing about this.
Dulls? Just to wrap up the
Yeah. So, and he had to later clarify that Venom will not be in the MCU and that movie will not be part of it. And it's like, it's a shame. Like,
that is funny.
Venom would have been a dope villain for. I mean, they technically could still do him, but I feel like this solo movie is going to throw a spanner in the works with that. We will not be able to have Venom in the MCU for the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
So I bet if Kevin had his way, this movie would not be happening.
No.
I can't imagine he's too pleased about it. But anyway, this is it's interesting. I don't know. I mean, this deal they have going with Spider-Man and Sony. So they have Spider-Man for the Marvel movies, but this is going on. Like,
it's weird.
It's an unusual kind of. Apparently, Sony took all the movie was theirs.
Really?
I think Marvel just creative produced it. Crazy. So it gets to be part of their universe. But it's still Sony's movie, so anyway.
What an absolute genius, I think. Like, when I was growing up, I was like watching heaps of like independent movies like Clerks and stuff like that. and just thinking, like, at the time, I'm not ashamed to say I looked up to the Weinstein brothers. Like, I wanted to be like the Weinstein brothers. They worked out...
so you, like, knew them as figures?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Like,
because I obviously knew there were people called Weinstein out there because you see that logo before every Tarantino movie, but I didn't really put, like, a...
They basically made Tarantino.
Yeah, well, of course. They made a lot of people who they are.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. And, but,
should we...
No, just a sec.
Divulge?
Just a sec. I wanted to be like them. That's what I looked up to, because they're like, there was the two brothers that basically out of the garage of their home created a multi-billion-dollar empire of movies. But
you don't want to be the big Hollywood mogul.
No,
You'd rather be like the writer or the director.
Yeah, of course. But like, I always thought that was amazing, and now I think that the new Weinstein is Kevin Feige. Kevin Feige has created this giant cinematic universe of superheroes that everyone just fucking loves.
Well, he's like, the Weinstein brothers are literally just the financiers. Like, he's very much a creative on hand. Like,
100%.
It's like his vision, or not his alone, but like he's essentially sculpted he's already said, like, after Phase 4, which will be the last Avengers movie, Avengers Part 2, Infinity War Part 2, they've already got another 10 years planned out. It's like, will we get fatigue? I mean, we all thought we'd have fatigue by now, but they managed to make the movie so inventive and creative and fresh all the time.
I think it'll be fun.
And I think.
And I'm more excited for Infinity War than, I don't know, man. I might even be more excited for it than the new Star Wars movie.
That's just crazy. let's not.
I don't know, man. Just that description I read of it, it's like, fuck.
It does look great. But no, I honestly think Kevin Feige is an absolute lyric. Like, he's a cinematic genius.
He is.
But let's get on to the Black Mirror trailer. We're big fans of Black Mirror. Both
Bob Iger, Disney CEO, is the new Weinstein in a good way.
Yeah.
The new, like, he's like financing it all and he's like overseeing it all.
Yeah,
and
you're right. That's right. Yeah,
he's fostering it all.
Bob Iger's a G.
Yeah.
But the new Black Mirror trailer looks awesome, and it's just a snippet of it's a trailer of one of the first episode, which is the episode's called Archangel. Don't play it because it'll be off mic. It's directed by Jodie Foster, and it looks awesome. It's got this like creepy, eerie sort of feel to it. It's definitely got a little bit of sci-fi, and it's like, I don't really understand what's going on, but like, you never really do in Black Mirror episodes until around the end.
The point.
Well, yeah, to me it just looks like a weird sort of...
you can play just no audio.
So she's gone missing, and it looks like she's almost like maybe changed in a way after it, because they take her to a clinic, maybe to get her checked out, like they think something's wrong with her. This is just speculation, of course. And then they do something further to her, which makes her seem weird. And
who's that actress there?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I have no recognize it.
But it looks fantastic. I can't wait for Black Mirror to be back. I reckon it'll be back.
Can we think of, this is hard for me to answer because there's so many, but do we have a favourite Black Mirror episode?
Probably The Haunted House. I loved The Haunted House.
Yeah.
No, White Christmas. Loved White Christmas.
What is that one again? Because I feel like there's a few
John Hamm episode.
There's White Rabbit and stuff.
The John Hamm episode where
that's a brew. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's
the one where
that was like,
they're putting like the psychosis of people into these little machines to basically they make the AI of a machine is actually a person.
I'm yet to see that one.
It's fantastic.
Ooh.
That was an excellent episode.
Yeah. No, there's many.
Yeah, that one as well. Actually, I can't think of one. Actually, I asked the question. I don't even have an answer to.
But
I think the thing about Black Mirror is their social commentary is so eerie. Like, they somehow managed to just capture it and just like present it in such like a unique and like unsettling kind of way.
Press pause if you don't want this spoil. By the way, yeah, I completely agree. Like everything that happens, you're like, this could possibly happen.
Yeah,
which is really creepy. San Junipero. That's one where like where it's the world where you can go. It's like the
virtual world for people who are
world.
Dying and stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah.
That's fantastic. That got nominated for a Golden Globe.
Yeah, to be completely honest, it wasn't my favorite. Because it was meant to be very, very romantic and stuff, and it had like a happy ending, which to me was like out of the ordinary for the show.
Yeah. That's very true. Yeah.
But no, I mean, there's definitely not a bad episode.
No, there's not.
There's definitely not a bad one.
Look, let's smash. We're running.
Oh man, I forgot how few episodes there were per season.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Oh
I
yeah,
love
thank
that.
God we're getting a few more. Well, hold on, can we see?
Oh no, we can. There's no. We can see all the directed bys.
I'm up to here.
Wait, that can't be right.
Yeah.
This is series 4. Go back down.
Yeah, series 4.
Series
That's
four.
that's what we can expect, maybe.
Oh, Archangel's
Jodie
the
Foster.
second one. Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
It's the second one.
Oh,
So there's
I
Jodie
was-
Foster directing that.
well, no one can see what we're looking at, guys. But I honestly thought that there was going to be.
Well, I knew Jordan Peele wouldn't be directing one for this series.
I
Because,
thought there was Jordan Peele because Jordan Peele. Yeah, maybe next season.
No, because I think they made a big deal out of the fact that Jodie Foster was. So if they get a big celebrity director, they'd probably shove it in your face. And
Yeah,
tell you a lot about it. So
can't wait for that though, man. That's gonna be so good. Dan Trachtenberg did the playtest, one of my favorite ones. The augmented reality horror haunted house one. Dan Trachtenberg used to be a YouTube star, and he was on this show called The Totally Rad Show, and they just disbanded, and he directed a little movie called 10 Cloverfield Lane, and then he did this.
he did the Portal short, which was
He did the Portal short as
and which
well,
shot
that's
him up
correct,
to, which got him some recognition.
Yeah,
that
probably
is
got
like
him-
one of the. There are a lot of great little fan made short films on
But
YouTube.
that's one of the best,
that's
isn't
like I feel what pioneered a lot of them actually.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's fantastic.
Jules John Bernthal has come out and said that he didn't originally ever want to be in a superhero franchise.
Yeah,
Fair
enough.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like, he's definitely a guy that I would never see him being like superpowers and stuff. But
I can't imagine how many
Well, that's
actors
how
are getting in it because of the passion they have for comic books as kids.
No.
I mean, there's a clear monetary incentive. So, I want to meet the actors who are getting in it, and it's like their dream to play this one character. Like Tom Holland seems to be having a lot of fun. Actually, he's
Yeah.
one example where he's just like he still can't believe he's Spider-Man. It's like in interviews, it's still funny to see.
I actually listened to the Nerdist podcast this week that had John Bernthal on it, and doing the auditions for Punisher and Spider-Man were at the same time. And John Bernthal and Tom Holland were doing a movie called I can't remember if
I
you
should
did
mention
that
this
up.
last week. That's right.
But no, you didn't mention everything. This you said that Tom Holland was with the Punisher. Like they did a screen test with the Punisher. That's not true. Well, like what actually happened is that while they were making this movie, it comes out this year though. They pushed it back. I think Pilgrimage. That's it. That they were both auditioning for these roles at the same time. So
okay.
his Tom Holland's audition tape is featured John Bernthal.
So I guess
Bernthal's
that
audition
headline
tape-
got mangled and they made
Yeah,
it seem
so
like
someone-
Punisher and Holland tested
exactly
opposite, right?
someone
Alright,
wrote
fair
that.
enough. Yeah,
But
but it did sound a little unusual that happened. I
But
guess
yeah,
I guess that just sounded
It
exciting.
was just right place, right time.
Because like an iconic character, trio, in like the animated old Spider-Man shows from the late '90s and stuff, and like and it's like meant to be they're a big trio in the comics because they're like the big New York-based heroes. So
Yeah.
Spider-Man, Daredevil, Punisher. Like the dream is to see Spider-Man, Punisher, Daredevil in like an episode of Daredevil.
That'd be
As
sick.
pie in the sky dream that is, it's not out of the question. And
It's
Tom
not,
Holland, I
that's
bet,
right.
would be more than down.
Oh, 100%. Probably don't even have to
But yeah,
pay him.
can you imagine though, dude? All three of them. Woo!
But
Anyway.
yeah, nah.
One day.
Because they're
One day.
they're all New York. Because they're all deeply New York.
Because yeah, it's meant to be like a New York based, and New York is very much part of their identity.
Yeah, very much
so that's why it makes sense to team up, and they always go up against Kingpin because he happens to be a major villain to all three of them. So yeah, one day I'm sure.
Yeah, but like what he said is that the realistic take of a superhero, how he's a man, no mask, no superpowers or anything, that really drove him towards the role. And
Yeah.
he's so good. Like I've
Do you
got
want to have a chat about the Punisher has?
Sure, go ahead. What do you
Spoiler free, please. if you
spoiler
can.
free.
I can't believe he's dead. That's fuck. Joking.
Good one. I will say this. The more I sort of watch and reflect on it, I think your comment, Dulls, is quite accurate in that he's a great supplementary actor that takes a large part of a series.
You probably
As
want to get on
opposed
the mic
to-
a bit more, I imagine.
Yeah. As opposed to him being the sole, the feature of the series.
Oh right, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And I say that because I reflect on Daredevil season 2 and how phenomenal he was, and that in every time he was on screen, he just delivered like that insane power, and I mean the prison scene comes to mind.
Yeah.
But in his dedicated series, I feel it was one. The story wasn't very compelling.
Really?
I don't think so. I liked Madani. I liked Bernthal's performance was definitely very good, but
You have fucking Billy Russo.
Billy Russo was excellent actually as well.
Billy fucking Russo is amazing.
Yeah, he was an excellent.
Is that character name or is that an actor?
Character
the
name.
character name. He's got another name that you will find out.
He was excellent. However, the action and that like raw.
He's out of Westworld.
Yeah.
Okay.
And just that like raw that raw violence that we expect from the Punisher
Aggression.
wasn't there.
Really, I respectfully disagree.
Like his acting was Punisher, but it was more the directing and the scenes didn't deliver as hard.
Really?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, okay.
Nothing came
I
close to the
think,
prison scene that was in Daredevil 2. Mind you, I haven't watched the last 2 episodes.
See, I'm up to where you are. I'm up to the last 2 episodes. The action scene at the end of episode 11, I think, was better than the prison scene.
Really?
Yep. I won't say exactly what happens.
Then
'cause
again, I'm up
there.
to season 10. Then I'm up to episode 10. Sorry.
Okay.
There we go.
But I think that this
That's a
is
huge claim, by the way, because that prison scene was
It's phenomenal.
unbelievable.
Yeah, it was good, but trust me.
So now I'm excited. Yeah.
Um,
Well, I always knew it was just going to be balls to the wall action.
It is.
I'm not going in
But
expecting.
it's not. The first 8
entirely-
episodes is not. It's very
Are you
moderate.
kidding? No, there's
It's
a giant
very-
action scene every episode.
Ooh. It's
It starts off where he doesn't even use guns. He just uses a
Has feelers. Has feelers.
But no,
Has
like that's
feelers.
fine. Like it is. What would you give it out of 10 so far? If you had to give it,
Well, I'm up to episode 10. I think I'd give it. I think I'd give it a strong 7.
that's fair enough. I'd give it an 8.5. I'm
Give it a very
really,
strong 7.
really loving it.
Okay, good. I'm excited.
It's exactly what I wanted. I think the story's great because they like brought in. I think I agree with you that like I was kind of worried that he was going to be the main character and like if he's going to hold up, but I don't think he's even the main character in it. I don't think there is a main. There's like 2.
There's
main,
3 sort of salient characters, and he's one of them.
Exactly, which I think is the perfect structure.
It's
for
him,
this show.
Micro, and Madani, and then
Exactly.
Billy Russo as a.
Billy Russo, I think, is amazing.
Yeah,
And can we just
he was very
shout out
impressive.
to the character of Lewis?
Yeah.
Lewis was fantastic.
Lewis.
The soldier.
Oh yes, yeah.
Lewis was fantastic.
Yeah, great actor.
And we won't say any more about him. But Jules, like, let's say next week we'll finish Punisher and we'll have
I think I might have been able to finish it.
But,
by
it's-
now.
it's
I
very
love it so far.
it's
I've
bingeable.
I'll finish it today. I think it's fantastic. I think John Bernthal is like, I love the Punisher. Like, for me right now, from top to bottom, the 4 Punishers, I'd go. It's John Bernthal, Thomas Jane, Ray Stevenson, Dolph Lundgren,
Dolph Lundgren?
Was
In which one?
and then 80s he did a Punisher movie.
Have you seen it?
Yes, that's why.
I feel like he would always be the bottom house.
That's why he's number 4.
Yeah.
But no, I thought it was great. Let's quickly just gloss over a couple of points. Coco destroys Justice League. Are you excited for Coco, Dolls?
I don't even know what Coco is.
Is that like the kind of Day of the Dead theme,
Yeah,
Mexican theme?
correct, yeah.
It looks cool. I like the look of it when I saw the
I
trailer.
love Pixar movies. I'm gonna see it. I'm gonna see the shit out of it.
Da, 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 da.
96 Rotten Tomatoes. There you are.
Ooh. I mean, dude,
What on
Pixar.
earth?
Pixar haven't really had a flop. That's why Cars 2 and 3 are anomalies.
Yeah.
They're just not.
Oh,
they're just mediocre.
semi recently, yeah.
I completely that trailer. I'm
And
not gonna lie,
96
intrigued me a little bit. How it was like almost gritty looking. You remember the trailer? Like,
Yeah, but have you seen the second trailer with the dog and the bone?
well, it's already been out and gone.
No.
Wait, what? I was talking about Cars 2. Cars 3
sorry.
briefly then.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah. The first trailer was gritty as hell. I completely remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And everyone was complaining that like it's showing death and stuff. I'm like, have you seen any Pixar movie ever? Watch the first 15 minutes of Up
Yeah,
and
you
tell me
kidding?
that
I
doesn't
mean,
show death.
Yeah.
That movie,
I guess in a more visceral
Yeah,
way, I suppose.
true. But yeah, that movie slammed Justice League.
Yeah, I have. I mean, yeah, of course.
It did.
And yeah, Justice League, I think, did similar numbers, 90 something
83.
million. No, it was in the 90s, I remember seeing.
Of the first weekend or this weekend?
It's first weekend.
Okay, well, this weekend it was 83.
When it was essentially unrivaled. And then, yeah, Pixar. Well, yeah, it's Pixar. But yeah, Justice League apparently it's the lowest so far
That's
of
crazy.
the new DC.
That's
EU.
crazy. Justice League.
Yeah, I didn't have the marketing in my face like I remember they did with BVS. So it doesn't. I don't know. And I mean, it was bound to happen. I mean, of course, that's still pretty respectable for a movie, but not
93 mil.
not Justice League, not a movie with like a 300 million budget,
and with the Batman in it.
Oh
Like, you think that would attract a bit more?
Well, I think it's bound to happen. This is bound to happen. No matter these big names, these big franchises, it is bound to happen. If you release bad movie after bad movie, Man of Steel, okay, BVS, Suicide Squad, Jesus Christ, just stop beating that dead horse. Like, oh my god, I can't die. You saw Suicide Squad in the end, right?
Yeah, I've seen it twice.
That was... Why would you do it to yourself?
I know.
It's tough. That was like, oh my god. Anyway.
I very naively thought that if I let it rest for about a year or so and I take a fresh look at it, it might improve. How mistaken I was.
I don't think I'll ever watch that movie ever again.
We should watch
because I respect my
Suicide
time.
Squad
I respect my time. By the way, we should definitely watch Fantastic Four again though for a podcast. But
thank you. Yes.
So yeah,
I'm all for a Fantastic Four podcast where we just outline exactly what didn't happen in that movie because nothing fucking happened. Fucking villain turns up in the last 5 minutes. Where do you get that cloak from? He got transported to another world and transported back with a cloak. Yeah. Where do you get the cloak from? Makes no sense.
I wish I knew.
That was a big reason why I didn't like Wonder Woman. I feel like her powers weren't explained at all. No, not the cloak, but her powers weren't explained. It was an origin story. And more than that, we got taken.
What do you mean they weren't explained?
Dude, like
she was like the love child of Zeus.
Yeah.
But like how she like did I'm blanking on it now, but she did a few little things, and there was a few scenes, particularly her fight with the Nazi general, and she did some things. I was just like, how does that work? Like, how does that fit whatsoever? I might be I'm not as acquainted as you guys are with
well, I'm not
DC
really with
universe.
their powers, but I mean they kind of just explained it like the Amazonians are already essentially superhumans.
I understand.
And
that.
then Wonder Woman was
superhuman warriors, and then she's a half human. She's half Amazonian.
Yeah,
half
she's like a
Greek
demigod.
god.
Yeah, so I mean that to me just kind of covers all the bases. I'm not. Yeah.
But Dulls, Ben Mendelsohn says he wants to be Doctor Doom. Speaking of Justice,
we already talked about that.
Yeah, we did. I love Ben Mendelsohn. He can play anything. I think he's the best Australian actor at the moment.
Best part of Bloodline, which is why I refused to watch.
Sure it wasn't Joe
season
Courtney
2
in
or 3.
Suicide Squad?
It was not Joe Courtney in Suicide. It's not okay. Joe Courtney. I'm sorry.
He did well for what he had. I think.
Joe Courtney can literally just leave Hollywood and everyone would be okay with this.
He was decent in that though. Remember the whole him drinking a beer and we were like, ah.
It was Suicide Squad though.
Yeah.
He drank a beer and everyone's like, ah, you're good.
He wasn't terrible.
He hasn't been good.
He wasn't terrible in Jack Reacher.
Yeah, but that was because Tom Cruise was dope. I love Tom Cruise.
Oof.
Dude, I just love Ben Mendelsohn so much. He can honestly play anything.
He was a good villain, yeah. I reckon I can easily see him as Batman.
That is Gyllenhaal, not
Mendo.
But that means I've got to recast Alfred. I actually like Jeremy Irons as Alfred, and like,
yeah.
I actually like the casting that they have. Like, can I just say this about the DC extended universe? The characters are great. Like, I don't have a problem with any of the characters. I mean, Cyborg isn't fantastic, but it's more the CGI than anything that kind of irks me.
I just found
Ezra Miller sold me.
Yeah, Ezra Miller.
Jason Momoa, I think, is fine as Aquaman. He's good.
He needs to be fleshed out more, but he's
everyone else, I think, works well. The casting is great. I would say great.
I feel bad for Jason Momoa because I think he's demonstrated that he has like real acting chops, right? Like he can act. But have you guys seen Frontier? That was a Netflix release. Season 2 has just come out.
I haven't. I've seen little ads for it, but
it was so weak, and it was just I just feel bad for Jason because like he just hasn't had like the film to really demonstrate and just take off.
Honestly, I'd be completely okay with like some weird plot device being used in Game of Thrones to reintroduce Khal Drogo. Because fuck, he was a dope character.
They're reviving cunts left, right, and centre.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
like,
come on.
Yeah.
And he died from like a spell, so I'm sure you could think of like a thing like a reverse spell, but I don't know. No, we don't really know him.
We don't need him anymore.
Hey, should we get into Mudbound?
We should get in. I literally just looked up Mudbound. Absolutely. So every week we're going to pick a movie and we're just going to watch it and talk about it. That's basically what it is. The Netflix pick of the week, duels. Last week we picked Mudbound, a movie directed by Dee Reese and came out this year. Just came out actually on Netflix. I picked it because I saw it got heaps of praise all over festivals. It got massive praise at Sundance. Everyone that saw it at Sundance, every review that came out that I read it or watched said that it was absolutely fantastic. This movie's starring Carey Mulligan, Garrett Hedlund, who's from...
Garrett Hedlund, yeah.
He's from Logan. He's the villain in Logan. He's also out of the movie Four Brothers.
Keep up character names and actors' names because I will need to.
Of course, yeah, no, I've got it because I'm the same. I'm like... we've got Jason Mitchell, Mary J. Blige, and who I think is one of the standouts of the movie, Jason Clarke.
Was Mary J... Oh, I disagree.
Jason Clarke.
Was Mary J.
He's
Blige
always
the mum?
Yeah, she was Florence, yep.
Oh, yeah,
Yep.
okay.
But actually, no, the standout I think was Jonathan Banks as Pappy. He was bad. So the whole movie is...
For me, it was Garrett Hedlund.
Yeah, he was great. Though.
Yeah.
I thought everyone was great. I didn't think there was a bad person. But the whole movie surrounds... it's a period piece. It's during World War II and just after World War II.
So it's during and post World War II, kind of like a look into the lives of two different families, one white, one black, and like the whole situation is that the white family owns the property, owns the farm in which the black family are tenants, and this is Southern America, so racial division is still ripe. It's still, and rife.
Yeah, it's really
rife across like it's like it's almost as if like so I mean so I'm imagining like the mid 40s American, like obviously racism would still be very much alive in that time, but I mean I guess South in the southern states of America are just like underestimated how bad it was, and like how like open and accepted it was, and it was actually normal. The racism was very much the norm. And so, because I imagine it would be a bit different in the northern states.
Yeah.
So
in this movie, a son from each family go to war for America in World War II, and they both come back. They both live. They both come back, and I love that they share a bond that they've both gone to war and seen some shit. And like even though they've got of the white family, they've got Jonathan Banks, who also plays what's his character name in Breaking Bad? Mike Ehrmantraut.
Mike, yes.
That's it. Sorry.
Doesn't look terrible.
It doesn't look terrible.
He plays this guy, the grandfather of the white family. His name's Pappy McAllen, and he is like also part of the Ku Klux Klan. He's incredibly racist. He thinks that all black people should take the back door instead of coming out of a store in the front door. And he's just a genuine piece of shit.
Wow, so he's like neck level racism.
Yeah.
Then again, he's the older character in there, so he would have been born like pre-1900s.
Probably.
Yes. Yeah.
So we can see where he's valid.
So they definitely come from like all like the white family as a whole is pictured as racist, but Pappy being as the most racist. Like Jason Clarke, one of the sons, is like he just goes along with it. So he never really does anything, but he just goes along with it just to make everybody happy.
See, it's not even like I want to pick my words carefully here. It's not even like they're exerting their racism. It's just like it's still normal in society.
Yeah,
it's
very
normal. They're essentially taught to the coloured folk, as they call them, they're meant to be seen as differently and treated differently. So even like they're trying to be racist in like a racist today, they're just a fucking racist for the sake of it. Whereas like it's almost like it is very much institutionalized and a part of society.
But what I loved is that Garrett Hedlund and Jason Mitchell, they're both the sons that went to war, and every single day that when they're back, they just spend time together just to talk about the shit that they went through. They just go out and they go.
Yeah, so the unifier is talking about the war and their experiences.
And they just talk about like how like Garrett, like because Jason Mitchell was he also played Eazy-E in Straight Outta Compton.
He's motherfucking E.
He was talking to Garrett Hedlund about like he's still really uneasy about like thinking that he's racist and stuff because as he said that when he was he misses being at war because at war he was treated like a normal person and then he comes back here and he's just
No, he was treated like a liberator.
Yeah, a liberator. That's right.
They saw him like the Germans and the French. They didn't actually care. He was like, and he's just like, I'm back here. I'm just another
person in the film.
Yeah.
Choosing your words mighty carefully.
But yeah, no. And then Garrett Hedlund told this story about how because he was a fighter pilot, and he like looked to his left one time when he was in the cockpit, and he saw another plane, and he saw a black guy in that plane, and they saluted each other, and then they just flew off. And it's just like,
yeah, that was a great little
matter.
moment. That his little turning point, and just to make him realize we're just all men in this war. We're not fucking like, who cares about skin color? It means nothing. Yeah, like, you know, when it comes down to the real stuff. So
exactly.
Yeah.
I thought this movie was fantastic.
And they always depicted the... I mean, we're essentially spoiling this, obviously, because, like, you know, this is meant to be an in-depth discussion. So, like, yeah, and I love the bit at the end when they're burying Pappy and... I've forgotten the father's name, the black father's name.
Happy.
Yeah, Hap, of course. And he swallows his pride, gets down because they ask him for help with
He's in Stranger Things. He's one of the deputies in Stranger Things.
He's also
in Punisher.
He's also in Daredevil.
The Daredevil Punisher.
He's one of the like.
He's the drug.
He's actually in all 3 series.
He's the gunslinger.
He's one.
Oh, cool.
The gun runner.
But and just very quickly, because the KKK had trapped
Jason Mitchell.
Jason Mitchell. Because by chance, Pappy had seen left on his car seat or in the car seat a photograph, because when he was overseas, Jason Mitchell had impregnated a German woman, and he received a photo from her in the mail of her and his son, and he's like, wow, like, oh shit.
And KKK.
And he happened to be in the car when he got the letter, and he just happened to leave it there. Pappy sees it, and then they later trap him, and he's with his KKK buddies, and they just absolutely beat the shit out of him. Like, they torture him. It's disgusting.
It is disgusting.
Pretty confronting scene, and they also bring down
Jamie.
Yeah, Jamie. So Garrett Hedlund's character, to witness it and essentially choose his form of punishment. And like, he's just like so off, and he's like, and he's really furious at it all, because obviously they're friends, and that's kind of like the context which leads towards the end when Pappy's finally dead, and they're lowering the grave, and Hap, like, he swallows his pride and he gets down, and like they really like.
I love what Hap said though, where it's just like, where Jason Clarke's like, maybe one of your other sons come on. He goes, my son ain't gonna come down from this wagon.
Yeah, and Jason Clarke was like, all right. Like, he wasn't gonna fuck with him then. But oh my god, Jason Clarke obviously had no idea what went down, because he was away at the time. But oh my god, dude.
Yeah.
Whew, powerful. I was so worried that Jason Mitchell's character was going to die. I was like, oh man, that'll be... It actually had an extremely happy ending. Yeah. For all things considered. I was bracing myself for a pretty fucked ending. Yeah. But, yeah, the only criticism I have, and I mean, it's interesting, it's like, you don't see many movies like this, but there was no real overarching story. No. It was just a glance into people's lives. Like, you'd look at the wife, Florence, the wife of the black family, and then, you know, the dad and the sons, and etc., etc. You just look at everyone in their daily lives and stuff, and yeah, it's like a period piece, like you said. So
yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. I thought it was fantastic. But yeah, Dulls, do you want to pick next week's?
Okay, and lads, this is extended to you because I guarantee you guys will love this movie, and you should still watch Mudbound. Actually, it's great. Stanford Prison Experiment. Now, it's not a new film. Like Mudbound. It's I think it came out in 2015, but it kind of slipped under the radar because on Rotten Tomatoes it only has a handful of critic reviews. So I don't know. It must have been like an indie film, I guess, but it's got a great cast. It's got, like I told Harry, it's got a bunch of like stock actors, supporting actors that you've seen in a bunch of random teenage roles. Yeah. I guarantee you'll recognize at least 9% of them from random stuff. You won't be able to put a name to the face. Ezra Miller is the only one though. You'll recognise. And I think it's Billy Crudup.
Billy Crudup's in
who is the main scientist.
Also,
he is
Alien Covenant
fantastic in it.
I've seen his acting, and he's the one that he's a creepy neighbour.
By weird coincidence, he's actually Ezra Miller's dad in The Flash. So, yeah, in Justice League. Sorry, lads.
No, I just remember seeing that actor in something. He plays a creepy neighbour, and he was excellent.
Oh, Ty Sheridan's in this. Fuck yeah.
Who is that?
He's the main character in the Ready Player One movie.
Oh, okay, so yeah, I mean, a bunch of different teenagers from random roles, and well, I mean, I guess they're obviously early 20s, but they look young enough. And oh my god! So in a nutshell, without spoiling anything, this is based on a real life story, real life. So keep that in mind. About Stanford University, so an Ivy League university, running an experiment in which they choose 9 college. So they're all the same from the same college, all college kids. 9 of them to play the role of a prisoner.
Oh yes, of course.
And 9 to play the role of guards.
Guard, yeah.
And
Don't say anymore.
Don't say anymore, yeah. Leave it
oh
at
my
that.
god, dude!
I
Let's
have
just say things get out of hand very quickly.
I've heard about this, the real life scenario that plays out.
I urge you just read, like you'll don't obviously read it before the movie, but read the Wikipedia page after the film, and you'll see the parallels, and you'll be like, what the fuck? Like it's like this actually.
Don't say another word. I'll watch that. I might watch that today. Awesome. Do you have
And
any?
it's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix.
Every week we'll pick something that's on Netflix. Just because it's the easiest thing.
I'm gonna have a think about what I want to pick for the next.
Oh yeah, we should go in order. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah, exactly. Laz, you want to pick maybe Hateful Eight, maybe.
Yeah, nah.
Laz. I mean, Dulce, do you have anything else to say?
Oh no, I think we've covered all the bases.
Sweet. Well, that's
So-
the episode.
Oh,
That is the second episode of the Filmoholics podcast. Thanks for listening. Please
thank you so much.
like, share us. Just share us with everyone. Share us with your mother. Until next time, just keep watching.
She might not want us.
Awesome.